John Cena turns babyface and loses his WWE title. Naomi loses her MITB contract. WWE SmackDown is being changed permanently. A huge update on WWE canceling Night of Champions. The real reason behind WWE canceling Dominik Mysterio versus AJ Styles. Jim Ross confirms his cancer is gone. Aleister Black is already turning heads in WWE after his return. Shotzi Blackheart gets honest about her WWE exit. What's next for John Cena post his WWE retirement? Let's dive right in. Naomi loses her MITB contract. The final SmackDown before Night of Champions 2025 is set to light up the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, with huge names like undisputed WWE Champion John Cena, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and US Champion Jacob Fatu, all slated to appear. Here are 5 big things that could go down on this explosive episode of the Blue brand. Number 1. The Wyatt Six could snag the tag team titles. The Wyatt Six have been tearing through the tag team division since their return, and now they're getting a crack at the tag team championships. WWE confirmed last week that the Street Profits will defend their titles against Uncle Howdy's creepy crew. With a strong push the faction's been getting, it's likely the Wyatt Six could walk away as new champions, shaking up SmackDown's tag team scene with some wild twists. Number 2. Julia could steal the women's US title from Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega's set to defend her Women's United States Championship against Julia on SmackDown. Since her debut, the beautiful madness has been building momentum, and this title match could be her moment to shine. A win would crown Julia as the new mid-card champion, giving WWE a chance to rocket her to the next level. Number 3. Naomi's MITB contract could slip away. A last woman standing match is locked in for SmackDown, with Tiffany Stratton taking on Nia Jax for the Women's Championship. The brutal stipulation means both stars will push each other to the edge, opening the door for Naomi to try cashing in her Money in the Bank briefcase. The glow already failed once before when Nia stopped her cold. This time, if Naomi goes for it during the match, a real-life Bloodline member might shockingly cost her the contract. WWE's pulled off failed cash-ins before, and this could be a jaw-dropping moment for Naomi. Number 4. Vicky Guerrero could make a comeback. Recent reports say Vicky Guerrero's been telling people she's gearing up for a WWE return, and SmackDown could be the spot. With Evolution 2, the all-women's PLE on the horizon, the former general manager's comeback in Saudi Arabia would be a perfect way to hype the event. For those who don't know, Vicky worked with All Elite Wrestling from 2019 to 2023, but her contract wasn't renewed when it expired. Number 5. CM Punk could unleash Pipe Bomb 2.0. John Cena sent shockwaves through WWE when he dropped his own version of CM Punk's iconic Pipe Bomb, slamming the Second City Saint through a table and breaking the fourth wall. This week's SmackDown marks 14 years since Punk's legendary Pipe Bomb on Raw on June 27th, 2011. With that milestone, Punk might fire back with a Pipe Bomb 2.0, turning up the heat for his undisputed WWE Championship clash with Cena at Night of Champions. This could ignite even more excitement for their epic showdown. WWE SmackDown is being changed permanently. WWE is shaking things up with a permanent change to SmackDown that'll affect everyone from the wrestlers to the fans watching at home. After months of whispers about the Blue brand's future, PW Insider dropped a report clarifying the situation. Starting with the July 4th episode, SmackDown will officially return to a 2-hour format, leaving behind its 3-hour run for good after this week's show in Riyadh. The report revealed that WWE had planned this shift back in January, signaling the end of the longer shows this summer. This means fans can expect a tighter, more action-packed SmackDown moving forward. With Raw now clocking in at about 2.5 hours on Netflix, this marks the first time WWE's 2 main shows will total less than 5 hours of weekly programming, unless the company decides to stretch Raw's runtime. A huge update on WWE canceling Night of Champions. There's big news about WWE's Night of Champions amid recent calls to cancel the event due to unrest in the Middle East. Despite the uncertainty surrounding the Saudi Arabia show, Triple H and WWE never confirmed any cancellation, and now a major update has arrived. According to PW Insider, WWE stars have boarded a flight to Saudi Arabia for the upcoming shows. The chartered plane, carrying most of the talent, left Miami, Florida at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. John Gobrick, who handles production for WWE's Saudi events, flew from Riyadh to meet the superstars and joined them on the return flight to ensure everything runs smoothly, just like past trips to the region. SmackDown and Night of Champions are set to air at 8 p.m. Saudi Arabian time in the coming days, and WWE has a lot of prep work ahead to pull off both events. With the talent now en route, it's clear the show is moving forward as planned. This follows concerns about regional instability, though things have reportedly calmed down somewhat. Still, some fans have expressed unease about holding events there, and Sportskeeda reported that WWE personnel were already nervous before tensions spiked earlier this week, with some hoping for a cancellation. Here's hoping both shows go off without a hitch, setting WWE up to wrap their major events by mid-2025 and kick off what's next for the year. The real reason behind WWE canceling Dominik Mysterio versus AJ Styles. Dominik Mysterio was ready to put his Intercontinental Championship on the line against AJ Styles at Night of Champions, but the match was scrapped during this week's Raw. A new report from PW Insider revealed the real reason. Dirty Dom is sidelined with a legitimate ribcage injury. On Raw, General Manager Adam Pearce announced that the Judgment Day Star's injury would keep him from traveling to Saudi Arabia for the premium live event. While some thought the injury might be part of the storyline, PW Insider confirmed it's real. Though, thankfully, Mysterio isn't expected to be out for long. In the meantime, Raw added 2 new matches to Night of Champions. Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez in a street fight, and Karrion Kross taking on Sami Zayn. Dominic has been on a roll, becoming one of WWE's most improved stars. At WrestleMania 41, he captured the Intercontinental Championship in a fatal 4-way match, earning a massive crowd reaction despite being a top villain. Since then, he's defended the title against Penta and Octagon Jr. and competed in the King of the Ring tournament, though he was knocked out in the first round. Mysterio isn't the only Judgment Day member banged up. His on-screen girlfriend, Liv Morgan, dislocated her shoulder on Raw last week and faces months on the sidelines. Unlike Dominic, Morgan's likely to be replaced as Women's Tag Team Champion, with Roxanne Perez expected to step in as Raquel Rodriguez's new partner. Jim Ross confirms his cancer is gone. Wrestling icon Jim Ross, known as Good Old JR, dropped a huge update on his Grilling JR podcast, sharing that he's ready to dive back into work with AEW after winning his fight against cancer. Sidelined for months by health struggles, Ross is done sitting at home and eager to get back in the mix. "No, just get back to work," Ross said, when asked about his next steps. "Yeah, I'm tired of sitting at home, and I'm excited about the opportunities that await. I am feeling better. My plan is to be in Dallas for the big event, AEW All In." The best news came when JR announced his cancer is gone for good. "You never know about tomorrow. The cancer's gone, which I'm very happy to say," Ross confirmed. "So I'm blessed that my health has returned, and I'm feeling pretty damn good." Ross also gave a shout out to AEW President Tony Khan for standing by him through his illness. "I'm very indebted to AEW for hiring me, bringing me on board, and Tony Khan has been amazingly wonderful during my illness," Ross shared. "He supported me wholeheartedly, and I really do appreciate that. That's the way a boss should act. Should do is take care of your people. And Tony Khan has certainly taken good care of me, and I plan on being reciprocal and doing my best to take care of him in my role going forward." With AEW's huge all-in weekend coming up in Arlington, Texas, Ross is set to attend, kicking off with the StarCast convention on July 11th and the pay-per-view on July 12th. It's not clear yet if he'll be calling matches, but JR is determined to be part of the excitement. Aleister Black is already turning heads in WWE after his return. Aleister Black is back in WWE and already turning heads since his comeback on the April 25th episode of SmackDown. After being away for 4 years, Black's return has fired up the crowd and caught the eye of WWE's top brass. According to PWInsider.com, the creative team is buzzing with praise for Black, with talks of giving him a major push on the blue brand. Insiders who spotted Damian Priest's rise in 2023 are now betting big on Black. His merchandise is flying off the shelves, and WWE officials are thrilled with his in-ring performances since his return. The buzz isn't just backstage. Fans have noticed Black mixing it up with SmackDown's biggest stars, and that's no coincidence. Sources say those moments were planned to boost his status even more. With this kind of momentum, Aleister Black could soon be one of SmackDown's top dogs. Do you want to see him climb back to the top of WWE? Should he go after a championship? Shotzi Blackheart gets honest about her WWE exit. Shotzi Blackheart is opening up about her WWE exit after the company chose not to renew her contract, and she's not holding back. In a candid chat with Denise Salcedo, the former NXT star shared the mixed emotions she felt when WWE made the call, admitting it hurt but might be the push her career needed. "Yeah, I felt so many things, for one, just grateful like I've been saying, and then also hopeful for the future because I'm okay, now I get to go out and kick ass and do me again. Like, I'm not gonna be sitting at home. I get to go balls to the walls as often and as much as I want. So yeah, I was just excited to get out there again, but then also, sad that that chapter of my career is over, just because I loved being in that locker room, and there's just something so powerful to be able to call yourself a WWE superstar. So to not be able to say that anymore, it hurts a little bit, but I try to remind myself that, I did do it, and now I'm just gonna kick ass and do me. Shotzi saw the signs coming. Her contract was nearing its end, and injuries had kept her off TV for most of the year, leaving her with little to show. I mean, yes and no, because with me, my contract was coming up, so I knew it was either gonna get renewed or it wasn't, and I didn't have much to show for that year, because I was gone from injury for 10 months, and then had a little bit at NXT, and then I was off TV for another 2 months. So I was like, man, if I'm going to renegotiate a contract, I don't really have much to show for. I don't know if I could just go back and say, hey, remember when I was in War Games almost 2 years ago? You know what I'm saying? Even so, Shotzi was already thinking about walking away on her own if WWE offered a new deal, feeling stuck on the sidelines. I knew that I would be okay. So to be honest, I was tussling with the decision to even re-sign just because I wasn't doing anything, and I wasn't happy with not doing anything. I wasn't happy with staying at home. I wanted to get out there and do what I love. She even had a speech ready for Triple H, planning to ask for a chance to prove herself elsewhere. I had this whole speech planned of going to Hunter and saying hey Hunter, I love working for WWE so much, but I don't know that I'm going to get the opportunity to prove that I can be a main player here. Maybe you let me go when my contract ends, and then if I absolutely kill it, you offer me that same contract that you're offering me right now in 6 months. In the end, WWE decided for her by not renewing her contract, a move Shotzi now sees as a silver lining. But obviously that never came because we never went into negotiations. They just told me that they weren't renewing my contract. But honestly, all of that was going through my head, and I was like, I don't think that I'm going to have the balls to say that, just because I didn't know that if I could take that risk. So them not renewing my contract made that hard decision for me. Yeah. So in a way, I'm grateful that they didn't renew it, because now I am going out there and I'm getting to show who I am, rebuilding my confidence, and, being Shotzi Blackheart, the ballsy badass again. Shotzi's already hitting the indie scene hard, proving she's still the fearless badass fans love. Did WWE drop the ball by letting Shotzi Blackheart go? What's next for John Cena post his WWE retirement? John Cena, the undisputed WWE champion, has shared what's next for him as he prepares to retire from wrestling at the end of 2025. Locked in a fiery feud with CM Punk, Cena is set to defend his title against the Second City Saint at Night of Champions on June 28, 2025. The two have been trading verbal jabs, and last week on SmackDown, Cena turned heads with a blistering promo, echoing Punk's legendary 2011 pipe bomb. During a recent appearance on Good Morning America, the Cenation leader opened up about his plans after stepping away from the ring. He vowed to stay connected to WWE as a company ambassador, but hinted fans will see less of his iconic "you can't see me" gesture. "I'll be an ambassador for the WWE as long as they'll have me, but I'm going to do more of this," waves his hand, "and less of this, does the 'you can't see me' action," he said. On a recent episode of the Rebooked podcast, former WWE star Matthew Rehwoldt praised Cena's SmackDown promo, calling it the standout moment of his heel run. He even argued it might top Punk's 2011 pipe bomb, though he admitted comparing them isn't quite fair since Punk's was a groundbreaking original. This was John Cena's best promo of his heel run. "I think it was arguably better than the original pipe bomb. I do think so. But part of that is, and I think it is a little unfair, because the pipe bomb of CM Punk's was like an original. Like he kind of threw it out there," Rehwoldt said. With Night of Champions approaching, it's anyone's guess what Triple H and the creative team have in store for Cena's clash with Punk. John Cena turns babyface and loses his WWE title. John Cena is set to face his toughest opponent yet, CM Punk, for the undisputed WWE Championship at Night of Champions 2025. In a wild twist, The Rock could crash the match and cost Cena his title. At Elimination Chamber 2025, fans were stunned when Cena sold his soul to The Rock, hinting at an alliance. But the Great One has been missing from WWE since, leaving that story hanging. At Night of Champions, the final boss might return to stir up chaos. Cena's shown signs of turning back into a hero, with an emotional moment after beating Randy Orton at Backlash 2025 and hesitating to strike R-Truth with the title at Saturday night's main event 39. If The Rock steps in to help Cena against Punk, the franchise player might reject the interference, wanting a fair fight with his longtime rival. This could enrage The Rock, leading him to unleash devastating rock bottoms on both Cena and Punk. In a stunning move, Seth Rollins could then cash in his Money in the Bank contract, snatching the championship. This chain of events could cement Cena's return as a babyface and spark a new alliance between The Rock and Rollins. For now, this is just a possible scenario, and the real plan will unfold on Saturday. Other stars like Ron Killings, R-Truth, might also get involved, seeking payback after Cena's brutal attack on last week's SmackDown. If Rollins tries to cash in at Night of Champions, it could also bring back Roman Reigns, who's been off TV since taking a vicious beating from Rollins and Braun Breaker on the Raw after WrestleMania 41.